Here we are. It's Friday. I'm excited it's Friday because yesterday was Thursday and yesterday was a great day, but today is Friday and cue the Friday music. Yes.
Thank God it's.
There you go. How is everybody this morning? This is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a breath from time to time to remind ourselves that we are here to connect with good stuff. Headlines from our city, state, or country, reports of places you've been, questions that you may have about how to best maximize our time here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. What a pleasure it is to get together with you every single day. And today, Friday, of course, is no exception. And as always, we welcome those of you that are watching live for the first time. I invite you to add a capital letter new. Listen to me. Just write new in your comment. We'll give you a nice little welcome. If you have something in mind that is really important to you, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q to your comment. That way we'll be looking for it during the comment section. Today, we don't have a lot of news, but I'm hoping to spark commentary on something. And this has to do with, oh my goodness, a new person. Let me stop the rails right now and say, hello, Keel. I don't know that I'm going to take adventures with your last name, but I think I got Keel right. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines.
Woot woot! Almost done.
It's great to see new people that watch live. The big difference between YouTube and live, of course, Keel, is that you get to comment, you get to ask questions, and so forth and so on. And there's so much knowledge that comes from the community. So anyhow, today I want to spark conversation about events that you don't find out about until the very last minute, and why that happens. Are we looking for information in the wrong places? Or are event organizers expecting maybe a little bit too much from us as event consumers? But before we get to that, I do have a couple of news items. And I also want to tell you a little bit about yesterday's fun music appreciation lecture, after which I went to the Indian restaurant on Isla Río Cuale for the first time. And I want to tell you all about that. I also want to tell you that we have secured dates for 2 music appreciation lectures in April, and I want to share those with you as well. So let's get started. Yikes, let me start this looking pretty. There you go. Yes, it's blinking, but it shouldn't be blinking. Hold on. Oh, it must be Friday. Mayor Michel offered a press conference yesterday afternoon at the Puerto Vallarta Hotel, in which he announced a series of public work improvements here in our municipality worth 232 million pesos that will be handled with municipal funds without incurring any further debt. That's good. This is deployed under the banner of Obras que Transforman, or works, public works that transform. And he outlined over 160 projects, excuse me, that range from street pavings and bicycle paths to major works such as the completion of the Federación Bridge and also an underpass at the Las Juntas intersection, the Las Juntas Rotary, where the new Puerto Vallarta letters are. Although these last two projects, the bridge and the underpass, have not been confirmed just yet. Mayor Michel said that he has his finger on the button and is seeking further funds for those two large works. After yesterday's announcement from Viva Aerobus about increased flights connecting Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, Volaris followed suit, announcing a daily flight between the two cities. The daily flight leaves Guadalajara at 12:42 p.m., arriving in Puerto Vallarta at 1:38 p.m. And then 20 minutes later, the flight departs Puerto Vallarta at 2:08 p.m., arriving in Guadalajara just a little over an hour later at 3:15 p.m. It's good to see that there is increased connectivity with our capital city. Let's only hope that such increased demand will also leverage better or more affordable airline ticket prices. That we will have to wait and see. So let's take a quick look at the weather forecast for this weekend and take it from there. Jesus parkouring Christ, it's partly smurfing cloudy. Okay, that's a lot to swallow in one single sentence. It is 26 degrees right now, Celsius. Its humidity is at 41%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is at 78%. Not percent, Paco. It's 78 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I'm trying to say. Our weather forecast for today: partly cloudy through the day, a high of 39 and a low of 18. Saturday, tomorrow, clear through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 19. And then Sunday, it will be a clear day with a high of 30 and a low of 18. A perfect weather situation to go hang out at Whiskey Kitchen and buy some handmade art. We've been talking about the upcoming pop-up art expo, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there, and I hope you are too. Now, let's dive into what am I going to do first? Hold on just a second. You know what? Let me do this first before anything else, because I want time for us to have commentary afterwards. A dear friend of mine reached out to me this morning and said to me, well, Freda Thompson from What a Drag asked me to ask you to mention What a Drag. And I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. What a Drag is a wonderful event, or a very popular large-scale event, and it made me wonder why Frida didn't reach out to me directly, but that's not what I'm trying to get into here. My first reaction was, oh yeah, What a Drag. That is a fun event, or so they say. I've never been, but I've heard wonderful things about this. This is an annual event where heterosexual men dress up as women and stand up against domestic violence. It's a huge event that takes place at Teatro Vallarta. And there's a lot of dancing and entertaining. And of course, there's the whole process of watching these straight guys kind of find their ways on their heels and performing and so forth and so on. They are sponsored by godparents, or drag godmothers rather, who guide each one of these men through the proper fitting of their dress and how to walk and how to dance and how to do this and that and the other. And it has been a very successful event in the past. But when my friend said to me, well, can you mention What a Drag, because she's asking, I thought to myself, well, of course we can, but when is it? What's going on? So, of course, I quickly went to do a web search and found out that this is what I saw on the website homepage. So I thought to myself, well, it has a lot of information, but it doesn't say when it is. I had to scroll down to find the actual date of the event. And the event is taking place this Sunday, that is in 3 days. And I thought to myself, well, it's very strange that we haven't heard much about this. Then I went to look at the ticket prices for the event, and they're not inexpensive. They are expensive, uh, and for a reason. This is a fundraiser for against women's violence. The website is not very specific about where the proceeds go or what percentage of the proceeds go where. The least expensive tickets are 620 pesos, which is about what a show is at one of the regular venues. And the entertainment value is very high. But I thought to myself, well, where is this being publicized? I haven't read anything about this anywhere. It wasn't until this morning that I saw that Out and About published something because I saw the link on Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, I went to look at their Facebook page, and their homepage, the homepage of the Facebook page, does show the date, Sunday, March 12th at 8 p.m. But then when I went to look at their events, because that's what I look for personally, I go looking for Facebook events, I saw that there are past events. There was an event last year, and one in 2020, and one in 2019, and one in 2018. But somehow the organizers did not create an event for this year. Now, by saying all this is I'm not throwing any shade on the event again. Although I've never been, I've heard that it is absolutely hilarious and really worth going. But I think there are some missing connections here between the event and yours truly, between the event and public in general, the public at large. I mean, what a great example, for example, was led by So You Think You Can Rise, because So You Think You Can Rise had a really wonderful narrative for months, or at least 2 or 3 months, during which we knew there were pre-event competitions and semifinals and so forth and so on. And What a Drag has the potential of great narrative, from shooting videos of people rehearsing to makeup tips. I don't know. I mean, there are many ways in which this wonderful event could create a louder voice for itself, and yet I didn't know anything about it. So my questions to you, dear audience, is are are really awesome events being advertised in places that I don't know about? And if so, if it's a credible news source, would you tell me if you've read anything about this in a credible news source that maybe I personally I am missing? The other question that lingers in my mind is, are event organizers expecting too much from the general public when it comes to finding out about these events? And again, for the millionth time, I am not shading the event. I hope they have a good turnout this Sunday. But what happened this year, Freda Thompson? I'm not even know if it's Freda or Frida. This is an established event that has drawn a lot of people successfully in the past. But although the events speak for themselves, I mean, how many of you had never heard of What a Drag? I saw a comment just a second ago from someone that said, oh, that's a fun event that I would love to attend. So there you go. All these questions linger in my mind, on my mind, in here. So if anybody cares to share comments in the comments section, we will be glad to read them. If anybody wants to reach out to me privately, I'm just curious, because ultimately we are here at Coffee and Headlines to create successful connections between the city, what's going on, and the audience. I am sad to see that I didn't hear about this until this morning through a third party because I would have loved to spread the news if I had known prior to today. With that said, I want to let you know that yesterday's lecture was a lot of fun. We even composed our own blues. It was great. And I want to let you know that I have already secured dates for two music appreciation lectures in April. So I think April 13 is going to be about Broadway because it was requested. Not about Broadway, about musicals, stage musicals, theater musicals, television, and films about musicals. What makes them compelling? What makes them succeed? What makes them flop? So that's going to be on April 13th, although it is also possible that that will be a two-parter because there's a lot to cover there. I'm not sure yet, but I did want to let you know about that. And of course, I want to let you know that after the lecture yesterday, two friends suggested we have dinner at the new Rico Indian restaurant. These are the people in charge of the project. I had a chance to meet at least three of them. I have to say I did not take any photographs because I was wanting to have a dinner, but I did want to tell you about it. It was absolutely fantastic. It was very affordable. They have several appetizers, but then for main course, they offer 5 different types of curries, which you can ask for with a choice of meats or a vegetarian option. Curries come with an order of rice and an order of naan bread, which were absolutely yummy. Of course, you are sitting al fresco and you're enjoying all the kitty cats that are out and about on the island. They happen to have adopted one. Oh, this was so funny because my friends Eric, Tommy, and I get there and we choose a table that had 4 seats. And in one of the seats was sitting a cat, the house cat. And one of the hosts said, well, her name is Luna. And I thought, well, I'm meant to be sitting next to her. So dinner at this new restaurant, it was absolutely wonderful. It's open from 5 o'clock on, so it's only dinner. I hear they have live music every now and then. But if you haven't checked it out, again, this is Rico Indian. It's located on the island, and it was absolutely yummy. And that is pretty much what we have for today. And purum pum pim pam pam. Let us take a look at your comments. I'm hoping to read comments about this business of letting people know about events because it is in this particular case, I mean, renting Teatro Vallarta is not an inexpensive undertaking. So anybody that goes and puts on a large scale event in Teatro Vallarta is taking a major gamble if the event is not publicized properly. And once again, I do hope that this weekend's What a Drag is successful. How unfortunate that we didn't hear about this any sooner. Comments. I see a lot of good mornings, and it's great to read them. As always. Thank you, Dan. Your How to Listen to Jazz lecture last night was awesome. We both learned so much. That's wonderful to hear. We had a great time. We had some great laughs talking about jazz music. More good mornings. More good mornings. We said good morning to Keel. I hope Keel got a lot of welcomes. And let's see what else we have. Yes, I see welcomes to Keel. Yay. Let's see. There's a queue. Any news on a gathering for the cluster in April? Ooh, we did say it was going to be in April. Chris, since you're asking, I don't know if you're in town or if you're out of town, is there a week that works for you? Let me know. I don't know that we want to do it during Semana Santa week because that would be complicated, but throw some dates at me. If there's a particular week that would work for you guys in April, we'll do it. We also are due for a members only live stream, and I should make that happen this coming week. Let's see what else. Susan comments, good conversation, Paco. I seem to find out after the event. Well, I'll be honest with you, Susan, and the rest of you. I used to get really bent out of shape whenever I read about things that I didn't hear about. Not so much against the event, but more about the frustration of not being able to promote and disseminate information about things when they are awesome. I mean, if the event is not worthwhile, then it's their loss, and that's it. Um, Nice to hear this endorsement from Kevin. We have enjoyed quite a few good meals at Rico India on the Cuale Island. I will be going back. I think I'm going to go curry by curry, although the first curry on the list was really spicy. My friend ordered it and I tried it and it gave me the hiccups. um, Brian remarks on something that I thought about as well. A 20-minute turnaround between arriving and departing seems a little ambitious. Well, I think it will lead to some delays, either coming or going, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be checking in on the flight prices just in case, because I have a couple of things scheduled in Guadalajara, among them my birthday. I'm going to Guadalajara for my birthday in July to hear and enjoy live opera. Yay! Let's see. Oh, Linda. Very hard to leave Vallarta yesterday. Already counting the days till I will get back. Well, we will be here. Any idea what the dome-shaped structure being built south of the Ameca River Bridge between the north and south highways? There was a plan announced to have a bus transfer depot for PB-bound buses coming from Nayarit to turn around and go back, so passengers transfer onto PB buses. Actually, Harold, I have not even seen the structure, and I have not read any news about this. That makes two of us, Jonathan. The Oscars is this Sunday evening, so I won't be going to Juara Drag. Had I known about Juara Drag earlier, maybe I would have been compelled to go. Thank you, Linda. I find this happens frequently with other events and restaurants in terms of the address, prices, hours. I get frustrated when I have to dig to find pertinent info and scroll on. This leads me to a word in English that I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce properly, and that is onus, O-N-U-S. Isn't onus like responsibility? So what I'm trying to say is, isn't the onus or the responsibility of the event organizer to disseminate the information as best as possible? Sometimes this expectation that we as consumers have to go fishing for the information and sometimes work hard to find it is expecting a little bit too much, but I could be wrong. That's why I'm looking for your comment and insight. Dan says, Kathy and I find it frustrating that events don't tend to update their websites or Facebook pages. Kathy thinks it's because organizers tend to talk to other people who are already interested in the events and so don't think about all the people who have no idea that the event even exists. My point exactly, and we have mentioned this a number of times here at Coffee and Headlines. If you go and put something on your personal Facebook page, who is going to read it? The people that already know and like your Facebook page. But anybody that has no idea that you exist or has not heard of who you are will not even get that message. That's why Facebook events are so important in my book, and hopefully some others, because Facebook events, anybody that's curious enough is going to go looking for these events, even if you're not familiar with the organizer. I've learned about a number of events that I've shared here at Coffee and Headlines because the organizers took the 10 seconds, well, I exaggerate, the 2 minutes that it takes to populate a Facebook event. And ironically, I looked at the Juara Drag Facebook page, and there has been some there have been some posts there. So there's somebody posting. It's just that whoever this person is didn't connect the dots and did not think to create a Facebook event. Thank you for that, Chris. It's a no-brainer, but so many that host events forget to do the 5 Ws: who, what, when, where, and why. Basic marketing, I totally agree. And my favorite question when it comes to promoting an event is, what would compel anyone to go? If you're not able to tell what should make you drop your coffee, drop your cocktail, leave the house to go see this particular shindig that you should not miss, how is one to know? This almost makes me laugh, Barbara. I mean, not laugh at you, but laugh with you. I heard about What a Drag from a friend whose partner is performing. Well, that's lovely. Unfortunately, word of mouth may or may not be sufficient here. And I do want to say, before I forget, it was a pleasure running into you at Rico, India last night. It was great food. I hope you and your party enjoyed it as well. Let's see. Oh, Brian has been to Rico and has met Luna too. Thank you for calling her Luna too, and not my Luna too. Dale says, I had seen ads for What a Drag, just can't remember where from. Well, maybe they were not that memorable. I don't know. Thank you, Keel. It's Kyle. It's pronounced Kyle. Well, there you go, Kyle. My bad. If I ever bump into you, please remind me, because I'm surely going to forget. Not you, but my mind. It's an old mind. Betsy says, I find it extremely frustrating that I don't get information at least a month in advance. I almost got a little defensive the other day when somebody was like, well, you have to tell us what's going on in Semana Santa. And I kept thinking to myself, well, we are lucky to find out that an event is going on sometimes just 3 days prior to the event. And these are events organized by the city. Once again, my big shameless nod goes towards So You Think You Can Rise, because, they started nurturing their narrative about it months ahead of time. It's a textbook. We could all learn a little bit from them. Let's see. It seems common in Vallarta to announce events late. It's difficult to make plans. Don't get me started. That's why, do forgive me if I keep pestering you about my music appreciation lectures. I want to make sure that if it's important to you, that you at least know when they are happening. Okay. So dates for... Chris says, I'm open, but not in the week you mentioned. We're in Miss Maloya. Kathleen Pierce says, I'll be in PV April from 18 to 28. Renee, are you going to be in Puerto Vallarta between April 18 to 28? First person to call specific dates gets the privilege. So Kathleen, I will hold on to your comment, and I will be so very happy to schedule a meet and greet between April 18 to 28. Yay. What? How long will fare be here? It's next to the shrimp place Campor. I'm at a loss, Patrick. I am very sorry for that. I don't know what fair you're talking about, and I don't know of a place named Campor. Hopefully somebody else will be able to help. Dale says, okay, I found it on Trisha's Facebook group, PV, everything you want to know. Okay, so I'm not going to throw Trisha's group under the bus, but on an average visit to Trisha's group, how easy is it to put aside conversation from chit chat? No criticism, but Trisha's group is a group that is densely populated with both lively conversation and information. It is not what I would consider a reliable news source, and I sure hope Trisha will not find this remark offensive, simply because I read a lot of things on Trisha's group that are along the lines of I heard this or somebody told me that, etc., etc. What I'm talking about when I think of a credible news source is a place that you can go back and refer to and get more information. I see many yes. I see more dates. This is from Renee in PV 419 to 513. Oh dear. So we have a conflict. Oh no, we don't have a conflict. Oh, there you go. So now we know exactly what week we're going to schedule our meet and greet on. I will open the calendar right after the broadcast and we'll make it happen. Oh, okay. The fair. I got it. The fair in front of Campo Mar where the former governor was assassinated. The amusement thing. I have no idea how long it's going to be there, unfortunately. But they rent the space from the Hotel Puerto de Luna. So maybe calling Hotel Puerto de Luna might be a good way to find out how long it is going to be there. What do you have planned? Oh, what do I have planned for April 27th? I think you had that date on your lecture screen. That is the date in which we are doing this. Let me put it on the screen. And it's actually April 23rd. This is our next music-related event. This is going to be a panel discussion in 2 weeks with the members of the Raíces folkloric group. We are going to have a Q&A with them. They're going to demonstrate their instruments, and we are going to learn, hopefully, a lot about Mexican folkloric music from South America, and if we behave well, maybe they will play a song or two for us. Again, this is not a concert we're going to have. It's an opportunity to ask questions that we may have about this particular type of music. I must say that folkloric Mexican music is very dear to me, and I hope we will all get a better appreciation of it. Didn't I miss the meet and greet for this month? You did not, Patrick. We only have 4 meet and greets per year, 1 per each season. So we did not have a meet and greet this month. Sometimes we will have spontaneous things, like, for example, this Sunday I'm going to be at the art expo or the art sale at Whiskey Kitchen, and it's a great opportunity to hang out and meet and greet. If anybody's going to be there, I'm going to be there. So if you want to meet and greet, we can do that spontaneously. But our big meet and greets only happen 4 times a year. So this brings us to the end of the broadcast. I personally think that this conversation of creating better connections between event holders and the target audiences is a conversation that should remain alive in everyone's dinner table, and certainly will remain alive here at Coffee and Headlines. Again, we don't mean to throw What a Drag under the bus. All I mean to say is I hope they have a really successful event this weekend. It would have been great if we had known more information ahead of time. And that brings us to the end of today. Thank you very much for your time shared. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. This week, 2 new people pursued a membership. It is your memberships that allows us to continue producing content and connections. So we are always very grateful for that. We'll be back tomorrow morning and then a well-deserved break. Have a good one.